Hi, welcome to lesson 12.10, Mixed Measures. We are on page 697, and right here, essential questions. How can you solve problems involving mixed measures? Remember, measures is things that we use to see how long something is, how much something weighs. It's just a way to keep track of that kind of thing with just measurement. So unlock the problem. Let's go ahead and read the story problem. Herman is building a picnic table for a new campground. The picnic table is 5 feet 10 inches long. How long is the picnic table in inches? Now remember, if we're going to use the cubes method, we want to circle the numbers. We want to underline the question, which is how long is the picnic table in inches. We want to box the key words. We have 5 feet and inches. How long is this in inches? So they want us to convert this right here into inches and then add it to what we already have here. And then evaluate, which is something I just did, and then solve the problem. So we're going to continue down here. They're going to walk you through it, walk us through it. Right here. Think of 5 feet and 10 inches as 5 feet plus 10 inches. And that's what I wrote right about here. So we have 5 feet. So we have to convert the 5 feet into inches, and then we can add them together. Now remember how before when I had mentioned in our previous lessons that you can't add different denominators because they're not the same. They're not the same exact pieces. So this is kind of similar. You have to change the feet into inches so that they're the same and you can add them. We know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot, and we have 5 feet. So it would be 5 times 12. That's why they have this here. We know that 5 times 12 is 60, and we already have our 10 inches. Go ahead and pause and add, and you should have came up with 70 inches. The picnic table is 70 inches long. Let's look at example 1. Add mixed measures. Herman built the picnic table in 2 days. The first day he worked for 3 hours and 45 minutes. The second day he worked for 2 hours and 10 minutes. How long did it take him to build the table? So we know that this is an addition problem because we want to know how many total. Again, you're going to want to circle all the numbers. Underline the question. Box the keywords. We know 3 hours, 45 minutes. We had 2 days, 2 hours, 10 minutes. Now, this is very similar. We can add hours and hours. We could add minutes and minutes, but just making sure that they are together. So we know that there are 60 minutes in 1 hour. And that's going to be really, really important for us to know in a little bit as we go further into our work and your future work with time. But here they want you to add the minutes first. And we know that 0 plus 5 is 5, and 4 plus 1 is 5. Now, because this did not hit 60, we do not need to carry over to the hour column. So we get to keep that as 55 minutes. Then we add 3 hours plus 2 hours, which give us 5 hours. So it took Herman 5 hours and 55 minutes to build the table. Now, if there was any kind of regrouping, then it would have made a big difference, and that's where this problem comes along. What if Herman worked an extra 5 minutes on the table, picnic table? How long would he have worked on the table then? Now, again, we have 5 hours and 55 minutes. And again, this is where this is really important, because if you add 5, oh, excuse me, I made a little mistake, 55 minutes. If we add 5 minutes here, we know that because there are 60 minutes in 1 hour, this would give us 60 right here. So because, like anything, on the other one, we usually, when we add to 10, we carry over. Well, because this is time, it's 60 minutes. We need to carry this over. And it's actually 1 hour. We have to convert that to the 1 hour. So it's 1 hour plus 5 hours, which would give you 6 hours, and this one is gone because we carried over. So it would indicate here that he worked 6 hours total. Now go ahead and pause and write everything down. And remember to pause whenever you need as we're going through this lesson. When you're done, go ahead and turn the page. Alicia is building a fence around the picnic area. She has a pole that is 6 feet, 6 inches long. She cuts off 1 foot, 7 inches from the end. How long is the pole now? Now, if she's cutting something off, we know this is a subtraction problem. Keep that in mind with the vocabulary, that they give you clues on what to do. So this is where reading is really important. So I want you to keep practicing your reading as we're still doing this kind of teaching and learning. All right, so we need to subtract the inches. Now, we have the 6 feet, 6 inches, which is up here. And then they cut off 1 foot, 7 inches. Now, this is just like regrouping with subtraction. But the important thing is we need to know that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So because we have 7 inches here, and we have 6 inches here, we cannot take a 7 from the 6. So we need to regroup. That gives us a 5. And instead of borrowing a set of 10, we're actually borrowing 12 inches. So we had the 6 inches to begin with. Then we borrowed the 12 inches because we borrowed 1 foot. Do you guys see where that is? Hopefully that's making sense. Because if we borrowed 1 foot, we're actually borrowing 1 set of 12 inches. So the 12 plus the 6 we already had gives you 18. And that's why they have an 18 here. So that is gone. Now we have 18 minus 7, which would give us 11 inches. And then we have, they want us to finish the rest down here. 5 minus, because we borrowed there, plus the 1 would give us 4 feet. So the pole is now 4 feet, 11 inches. On the next one, I'm going to walk you through it, but I'm going to let you pause and see if you can solve it on your own to see how well. All right, so on this next one, remember that if you need the conversion, which it doesn't look like we might, but that 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Now, let's set this up. 3 pounds, 5 ounces, subtract 1 pound, and 2 ounces. Now we only need this conversion over here if we need to regroup. So we have 2 ounces and 5 ounces. 2 is smaller than 5, so we don't need this right now, which is awesome. So I'm going to have you pause and I'm going to have you subtract 2 from 5 and 1 from 3. Go ahead and pause and solve. You should have gotten 2 pounds, 3 ounces. Well done. If not, figure out what you did wrong and go ahead and fix that and turn to the next page. Number 1. A truck is carrying 2 tons, 500 pounds of steel. How many pounds of steel is the truck carrying? Think of 2 tons, 500 pounds as 2 tons plus 500 pounds. So write the ton as pounds. So we need to think about that because we know that 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So we have 2 tons right here. So we need to think 2 tons times 2,000 is 4,000 pounds. So we actually now have 4,000 pounds plus the 500 we already had, and that would give us 4,500 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and help you a little bit with the conversions. I will help you as much as I can along the way. With your on your own, you will have to refer back to previous lessons, possibly to find conversions if you don't remember them. But remember, This is something that you have to use as a life skill. So sometimes you'll have to refer back and look at it and know that that is something that is a good skill to have. All right, taking a look at number 2, 1 yard, 2 feet. Now you're going to want to change the yard to a foot, excuse me. Now we know that 3 feet equals 1 yard. So we need to replace this with the 3 feet and add 3 feet plus 2 feet. Go ahead and pause and solve. Now you should have gotten 5 feet. Number 3, 3 pints and 1 cup. Remember, 1 pint equals 2 cups. So you have 3 pints. So you have 3 times 2, which gives you 6. And then we have the 6 plus the 1, that would give us 7 cups. Now some of these I'll do together and some I'll ask that you pause and you try them on your own and then check your answer. On number 4, we know that there are 7 days in 1 week. So we know that right here there's 3 weeks. So we need to multiply those together and then add this 1 day at the end. So go ahead and do that. 3 times 7 equals 21. Then we take the 21 plus the 1 day we already had and we add get 22. Now whenever we need to regroup, we need to look here, but let's just take a look. 4 plus 6 gives us 10 ounces, and that's smaller than 16, so we do not need to regroup, which is awesome. 2 plus 1 is 3, and remember to write the periods there so that it doesn't look like 31. That's really important. So this is 3 pounds, 10 ounces. Now the next one is 4 quarts equals 1 gallon. So we need to see right here, we have 3 quarts, we need to subtract from 2. We cannot do that, so we must borrow. Remember, if we're borrowing 1 gallon, that becomes 2 gallons because 3 minus 2 is 1. We're actually borrowing 4 quarts. Do you see that? Because we borrowed 1 gallon. So not only were we borrowing 4 quarts, we already had the 2. So 4 plus 2 would give us 6 quarts. Go ahead and pause and solve. 6 minus 3 would give us 3 quarts, and 2 minus 1 is 1 gallon. So we'd have 1 gallon and 3 quarts. Number 7, we have 20 minutes minus 15. 15 is smaller than 20, so we do not need to regroup, which is nice. And then 5 minus 3 is 2 hours. Now, go ahead and solve number 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. Pause now. And then when you push play, you will get the answers. But please do this on your own first and be honest, because I know you can do it. All right, go ahead and take a look at the answers and the conversions that I've written down and check your work. If you did not get the same answers as I did, please don't erase. Rewrite it and try again and figure out why you weren't able to make that mistake. Get the right answer. Remember, why did we make that mistake? If we can learn from our mistakes, then obviously that is a great way for us to learn. So I'm going to go ahead and allow you to pause and look at the answers. But until then, I'm going to scroll up and read these answers for you, and then again give you a chance to solve and then reveal the answers. Number 14, Ahmed fills 6 pitchers with juice. Each pitcher contains 2 quarts, 1 pint. How many pints of juice does he have in all? Now at first I was going to have you guys do these on your own, but it's a little bit more complicated and I like to work with them through with you so that you can know what to do when you have to do some of these on your own on the practice page. So it says right here, how many pints does he have in all? So we know that there's 6 pitchers, so there's 6 2 quarts and 6 1 pint, so that together will give us 12 quarts and 6 pints. Now, once we convert that, because we know that we need to change the quarts to pints, it's 12 times 2, which gives us 24. 24 plus 6, which is 30. Number 15. Sam and Dave each solve the problem at the right. Sam says the sum is 4 feet 18 inches. Dave says the sum is 5 feet 6 inches. Whose answer makes sense? Whose answer is nonsense? Explain. Now, as you can see, I added it. 10 plus 8 gives you 18 inches. 2 plus 2 is 4 feet. But if you convert it, 12 inches equals 1 feet. If you carry over the 12, that would leave 6 inches and give you another foot for 5. So they are both correct. You'll want to go now to the next video so that I can read to you on your practice page.